So the BRIT School is around 30 years old and BRIT Kids is 20 years old.
We wanted to do three things. One was we wanted more people to know about the school. Secondly, we wanted to be more known in the local area. And thirdly, we thought we've got all these amazing resources here. We've got a radio station, we've got a TV station, and it's only open 5 days a week. So what would happen if we opened it 6 days a week?
So that's why BRIT Kids was thought up so we could use all these wonderful facilities and make sure that the local community got to be in the space in the weekend.
BRIT Kids was a good idea that had to work. I just couldn't quite imagine it would get this big.
The BRIT Kids Croydon is our flagship, and then a couple of years ago we launched BRIT Kids Canterbury down in Kent, and then we've got a vision to open up more sites, and we're really pleased that we're joining with Westminster Kingsway for January 24 to launch a site in King's Cross.
Sadly, there's not loads of arts going on in secondary schools at the moment or in primary schools. There is some great work, but we wanted to provide a place where young people, maybe they hadn't thought about being a singer or a fashion designer or a filmmaker or an actor, and yet they could do that from an early age.
So BRIT Kids is part of the BRIT School. It is all one massive family. So we run to the same ethos, the same creativity levels. So that enables our teachers to have that freedom of the weekend, to really celebrate their art form that they enjoy. We've got around 19 different disciplines, so it's all the creative, media and performing arts that are offered. And young people can come in, they could come in for just 1 hour, or they could come in for 3, or they could come in for a full day programme. So they can mix and match, so they could, for example, come and do street dance and then go and do fashion and then up doing music production at the end of the day.
But the enthusiasm, the focus, and also they tackle some big stuff in BRIT Kids. It's not like a school that does light topics. They do stuff about big issues.
We're not scared to kind of push the boundaries just like the BRIT School would. That means that we'll have all our plays are bespokely written, and it means that, for example, we'll touch on things that are current to the young people. So
that's powerful to the BRIT School, but that is powerful to BRIT Kids too. I saw this amazing art exhibition from BRIT Kids students about the environment. And I was like, these kids are 10, 11 years of age, and they are going to change the world. And that's what the BRIT School does too.
It's community, it's family.
I guess it's just really fun to have those types of people around you, so it's a really good atmosphere, a really good vibe.
And I love every single second of it. I was just there meeting loads of cool kids, and at the secondary school there wasn't a lot of creative arts, so BRIT Kids was sort of my home to really explode all of this energy that I had in my creative field.
We live locally. I've got friends that have been in the industry. I've met a lot of people that have come out of BRIT Kids, if you know what I mean, that are in the industry. So it was ideal to have him express himself through BRIT Kids.
If you're a young person, you've got a passion for the arts, you don't want to be dancing in your bedroom. You want to be dancing with a lot of people. You don't just want to be creating fashion on your own. You want to be doing it with a group of people. So I think it's really healthy because you start to have an idea of what a professional might be.
Having BRIT Kids at the BRIT School is great because they're using the same technology that the students who are finishing their UAL course, they're about to go to university. It gives everyone equal access and equal opportunity to software and resources that might be out of their budget, essentially.
I love the fact that these 7, 8-year-olds are using the same extraordinary equipment as full-time students here at the age of 18, 19, and that's important to us. It's important to say, you can use these cameras, you can use these art rooms, you can use these MacBooks, you can use these theatres, because you've got to give them access early to get those skills.
When I saw the equipment of BRIT Kids, like the darkroom here, the studio, I think knowing that I'd be able to just have that as on like a school day was just really great for me, and I think that's one of the things that made me want to come here.
From the knowledge and things that I've learned through dance, I just felt like I wanted to give back and give it to children so they can actually experience what I get to experience through dance and get to express themselves and be able to have a space that they can do that in.
Them being like professionals themselves is really good because I can ask them like questions like regarding like TV acting and film acting, and they can help with that as well as of course theatre as well.
There is really high standards at BRIT Kids, like the lessons are really professional. When I walk around on a Saturday, I'm like, yeah, this looks like a BRIT School lesson. It just happens to be younger people. I think what I like about it is that lots of them are local, which is brilliant. I love the fact that loads of Croydon people come here on a Saturday. I think that's amazing.
I feel like the key differences could be between us and different Saturday schools is that we try and make ourselves accessible to everybody. A whole family can come and there's something for everybody, every young person to do here on a Saturday.
So I think that's quite important, to be able to trial your discipline before jumping head first. And the fact that children get to try out theatre, singing and dance, amongst other arts, I think it's really vital to do it at a young age.
I think because I've been able to explore across all of those things, I've been in a way sort of opened up to a new world that I wouldn't have otherwise had in school and other places. So this place has been really good to be able to pick loads of different things and courses that I can do.
So I've pretty much tried all of them, like street dance, singing, and theatre. But I think the reason why I chose theatre is because I really like being able to play someone else and get out of your own shoes and act as someone else. That's what really drew me to doing theatre.
We work on building character, we work on looking at plays and scripts and how one could use different techniques to create a short improvised piece sometimes. But alongside that is also about us helping the students build confidence, a place where they can make friends, a place where they can challenge themselves and their peers.
I try to bring that to the class as much as possible, sort of from an artist perspective. So even though the kids that I'm teaching are really young, I do like to bring their creative side out in the classes. So for example, we're learning songs and they're writing their own verses, or they might come in and they've written their own rap to something. I like them to kind of not just be given the material, but work with the material in a creative way.
I think it's all really different in every subject, but it teaches me how to expand my thinking about things like singing. People just think it's just basically singing, but it's a lot more than that, and you have to train your voice and really get into the mindset.
I'd say even though it's street dance, I don't always just use street. So there'll be some routines that I do where you've got a bit of contemporary, you've got a bit of dance, or you've got a bit of Afrobeat. So it's not just street dance. I've used what I've learned and the training that I've got, and I put that in with all the choreography.
I think it's the flexibility actually to change things on the fly and to kind of see how the class is responding to what you're working with, and even taking ideas from the class. So sometimes you could walk into a lesson and yes, you kind of plan, but you can really tailor it to their interests as well. So if they're suddenly like, oh, actually, can I put guitar on this track? You can immediately go, yes, go and get a cable and a guitar, or they might bring their own guitar in.
And when it comes to screen acting, which is a big test of the students', confidence at first, is being able to see themselves on screen and be comfortable with what they look like.
Every time that you come to BRIT Kids, you will always learn something new. So in my screen acting class, sometimes I'll learn how to act more realistically, how to act sad or happy or angry, and all the different emotions.
So I started using a resource from Sound and Music, who are the national charity for new music, called Minute of Listening. And they have minutes from Beethoven, Bjork, to the sound of rhubarb growing, things like that. And I use that as a resource for my class to kind of introduce sort of mindful listening as a tool for music production. And actually we've recently partnered with Sound and Music so that my students will produce minutes for other children. So they're making their own collection. So it's a BRIT Kids Sound and Music collection based on friendship. They will all then get to hear their music on a platform that they have previously used to inspire them.
Me personally as well, it's so lovely to see how passionate these kids are. And in an industry like mine, sometimes you feel like that passion gets sucked out of you. And it's really good to see that young energy and the reason why you want to do this?
I feel super passionate about connecting with the young people and watching their faces when they have been on a journey with us or experienced creativity for the first time on a Saturday.
She gives up her Saturdays, and that's, you know, quite a few hours in the day, and she's always really enjoyed it.
I would say it's a really fun place to be on the weekend, because otherwise I'd just be really at home, and it's a nice place to connect with people that have the same interests as me.
I think it definitely helped me socialise a bit more at BRIT Kids, so that would definitely help me more in schools and social situations.
The friendships and the connections that they make, because personally when I was here, you really just do form strong bonds with people, and because it's such a creative space, everyone feels so open to kind of chat about what they're interested in and what they're listening to and things that they like. So those bonds do really form at an early stage. I'm still friends with some of the people from BRIT Kids when I was 11, you know.
I had a really big confidence boost, because if you compare when I first came into Brits to now at Brits, I think there's a big difference in confidence.
Every child's an individual, and I feel like this is the kind of school that treats children as an individual.
For me, every student is a success story. But every student that actually attends, the moment they step in, they open their mouths, it's a success story for me.
Gives me a different perspective on the whole acting point of view, because it shows you that you're able to do the things that you would dream of if you properly put your mind to it.
But to be able to perform with the students, it was very nostalgic, from going from performing as a janitor way back when to now performing with all of these students who are in the exact same position that I was. It felt like being on a professional sort of set in a way. Even though it was fun, but because they're so professional and ambitious, it just felt like I'm working with actors. I'm not working with kids. I'm working with true, honest actors who want to grow in the industry.
It occurred to me that these kids come on a Saturday, you know, they don't have to, and they come and they were, every single one of them was completely dedicated to the performance, and it was something really, really, really special.
For parents coming into BRIT Kids to watch their children perform, because even when he was doing the street dance, the opportunity for us to buy tickets to come, or to get tickets to come in and watch, and it was just nice that every Saturday they went away for 2 hours. Then at the end of the year or at the end of the term, we're able to see what they'd been practicing on, you know. So I definitely recommend it to any parent.
Is one of the most special things about BRIT Kids is that you really get to watch people grow and turn into this beautiful human being.
When I found out that I was shortlisted for Sony's Youth Photographer of the Year, at first I didn't believe it, because I got an email just from a person saying, you got shortlisted, send a biography about yourself. I didn't believe it. I think the point where I did realize it was true was when I saw it on the World Photography Organization's website. When I saw that, I was like, I've done it. That was a really good moment for me. I guess photography is that art form that I can just lose myself in. I can pick up a camera, I can just take photos of anything. I can just find something just to create.
Someone once said to me there should be a BRIT Kids in every city in the country, and they're right. There should be high standard performing arts and creative arts training for primary school and early secondary school children in every city in this country. It would be brilliant for the country.
We had one boy who has AEN needs, and he'd been with us a really long time up in digital design, and he got his place at BRIT with the same teacher that he'd had at BRIT Kids. That was really special, because that was really special for him, and that's obviously going to make a difference, because BRIT is such an inclusive place.
If it was 10 years from now, I'd like to see that I'm still performing. I'm still definitely doing acting, maybe doing superhero movies, stuff like that. But anything, to be honest, I'd still do it, as long as it's performing.
You just see BRIT people everywhere, we're everywhere, we're taking over. That's the thing, BRIT is really taking over, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
What's really nice is that we're now getting BRIT Kids alumni. So we've got TV producers, actors, internationally successful dancers who've come from BRIT Kids. I'd love to see that continue to grow.
And within our cohort of 35 teachers, a good 2/3 of those teachers are either alumni or work at the school in the week as well.
Going back into the rooms that I learnt in almost 20 years ago, like so long ago, has been a really emotional experience for me. Having that shift of being a student and now being a teacher and holding space for a group of young people who knows, might come back and be in my position in 20 years' time, might end up being teachers, is like really special to me.
I feel like I've gone from a BRIT Kids seed to like a BRIT tree alumni, if that makes sense. So yeah, I feel like I've been watered and I've been nurtured, and the sunlight from the BRIT Kids family has just been mad. So I've grown into this sort of tree.
And I'm glad that I can even pass on the baton to my son, and he's part of the progress now, if you know what I mean.
I feel like there's an aspect of, okay, cool, I'm from Croydon, and I want to show that there's a world or there's a side where it's giving me a hunger to show that being from Croydon means that I can excel way more. But if we had more role models set in our community in Croydon, whether that's Croydon, whether that's East London, and we had role models where people are like, oh, you're from Croydon, that place where my man succeeded and did that film with David Harewood, or you're from Croydon where that amazing singer from BRIT School was doing bits with Adele, or you're from Croydon and you are on stage at the BRIT Awards. We had those role models instead of, oh, you're from Croydon.
There's a lot of, you only have to walk into the TV studio that I'm in right now to know that this is expensive. So it would be an investment, probably from the country actually, to make BRIT Kids work.
The one thing that has always niggled me about BRIT Kids, particularly I guess because I come from the BRIT School, is that we have to charge for our classes so that we can run them. So I've always wanted us to have bursaries within BRIT Kids, and I'm so delighted that now we are able. So that's kind of one of my ticks is coming true.
If we had role models who didn't just leave the ends, but role models who could invest in the ends, and role models who could help the ends grow and help the reputation of it, then it would be a better place. And hopefully that would affect other boroughs and other communities.
I would love there to be more free places. That was really important to what the BRIT School believes in, that the arts are available to all and that finance isn't a burden. So if there's any sponsors out there watching this film, you know, you could change the world for the better if you sponsored it.